With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the PRL's NASCAR Cup Series broadcast here on RaceSpotTV, live from Martinsville, the Paperclip. And it's been known for hot dogs, hot tempers, and, well, a bunch of wrecked race cars. Tonight, we might see that all as well as it is. I'm not Joey Tevin, and next to me, not Taylor Burris or Jacob Pitts. I'm Terry Radford. That's Dylan Coyle, and we don't know how we got here.
You know, we just somehow stumbled into this broadcast booth. Got a few hot dogs. You know, hot dogs in Martinsville, very interesting color. They're pink. So.
Well, it doesn't look like your shirt, but yeah, they just kind of just let anybody wander up here and call these races. So, hi. It's definitely not the normal voice you hear. The producer behind us, he's normal. He's been around for a while, but Collie did not have a good race weekend this weekend, and
we're not gonna. Hey, we're not gonna talk about it.
Well, we'll see what the PRL can do here this
All
afternoon.
3 cars in the Xfinity Series top 10, but it is PRL time at Martinsville. I see the hands up.
Well, they have more top 10s than I do in the PRL, so I'll take it.
That's fair. That's fair. We struggle sometimes to watch you race, Terry. It's very unfortunate, but you know a thing or two about getting behind a race car and sometimes putting out some good and fun performances. You're hoping for that in the coming days at Talladega in another PRL league, but this is the PRL Cup Series. It's at Martinsville. It's going to be a 90-minute race, I should say, or 225 laps. We look at the schedule right now. Race 4 of 10 in this series, obviously. It's the Paperclip. It's the shortest track on the schedule, meaning the most laps.
Well, and we got Dega next week. Obviously, I'm excited for the Truck Series Wednesday night, or the Xfinity Series, to see what I can do over there. Dover, Kansas, Darlington, Texas, ending the season with Charlotte. We've aligned back up with our counterparts on the rest of the time. We'll take a look at the standings right after this as we take a look at Pat Harvey. Has a slim lead over James O'Brien. Abner Acosta's right there as well. Former champion over here with Trent Dinkle, Jose Acosta, Abner's brother, Joshua Daniels, Eric Hack, Skip Gandy, Matt Long, and Taylor Stout rounds out the top 10 here. For your team standings, well, private label team hype, no shock. They've got a lot of hype behind them. 247 above SGE Esports Pioneer of 225 with Dirty South, Love Racing, RPM Motorsports, YS Sim Sports, and then you got the rest, the SGE Esports Ironman, and then Entourage with Aero Kinetics, and then SGE Apex down there rounding out the top 10. Man, Joey Tebben makes this seem a whole lot easier, but there's still ad reads to talk about the amazing sponsors that's out here that covers the PRL from start to finish. like Advanced Sim Racing. Owned and operated by passionate sim racers, Advanced Sim Racing designs and builds the sturdiest and most durable aluminum profile racing simulating cockpits available in the market today. All PRL members get a 5% discount on ASR products using the Precision5 coupon code. And then you got Racebox Sim Racing. Racebox offers mid and high-end button boxes for sim racing enthusiasts, from the casual gamer up to the most meticulous sim racing driver, competitively priced and carefully handcrafted. Their button boxes are enjoyable additions to your sim racing setup. Visit raceboxsimracing.com and get a 5% discount using the Precision5 coupon code. And then the Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker products add an incredible immersion and realism to every game. Deliver nuance and truly put yourselves in the driver's seat. Mecha Sim Hardware. Mecha Sim Hardware is a small company from the Czech Republic, and their goal is to produce high-quality sim racing hardware. If you're looking for a high-end pedal set, handbrake, or sequential shifter, like we're going to see here tonight, visit Mecha Sim Hardware eShop right now to get up to speed. Muradness. That's a new one. Muradness is a performance lifestyle brand motivated by motorsports and founded by a professional race car driver, Daniel Morad. For more information, visit moradness.com. Well, and then we get to track performance on the track. We'll track performance in the financial market, too, at NinjaTrader. You ready to compete against the financial markets? Yeah, we all are. Supporting over 60,000 users across the globe, NinjaTrader provides award-winning trading software and brokerage services. NinjaTrader is also free to use for advanced charting, backtesting, and trading simulating. Visit ninjatrader.com to get started with the risk-free trading simulator and start tracking your performance today. Man, glad I got cough drops. Dylan, that's a mouthful, son.
A little bit, right? I got my 1 gallon of water with me. I am ready to go until the nature comes calling, but we'll hopefully not have that happen for a little bit. A little bit longer that we spent in practice. I believe it was set for 5 minutes longer than typically, but we are in qualifying. 5 minutes, 2 laps for all these drivers to get their laps in. I mean, realistically, Terry, we should be seeing these drivers get all their laps in if they want to go for it within the first 2 minutes here fairly easily. But only 9 times have been set. Trent Dinkel with a 19.133. We're looking at the 39 of Troy Turgerson right now. And now the 37 gets into the wall. That Geico wall has some marks there crossing the line. Dinkel still up top.
It's interesting. Now we get Jose Acosta on the racetrack, and we'll see if Jose is able to come out here and potentially set a good time. As we'll swap over here to Morales. He's on the clock. Yeah, this was a hard racetrack to get a grip on in the Xfinity series. I kept overcooking the tires. I always kept wondering what I was doing wrong, and then I jumped in one of these cars, and there's a whole lot more work that goes into this one than it did in the Xfinity. They're shifting every single lap into third gear.
It's constant.
It's constant all the way around this place, and then with open setups, adds just a different feel to it. And no surprise that Trent Dinkel's currently sitting on the pole. Richard Regan Jr. sitting second. He's almost a full 10th behind here. We'll see where Morales sets himself. He's going to stay in the 16th position, so not a big gain there on that second lap.
Yeah, not that much right there, as we have 2:18 to go in this qualifying session at the paperclip, which a lot of people think that it's a pure half mile, and they'd be technically incorrect, which is the best kind of incorrect. Usually they say the best kind of correct. 0.53 miles, so just 3/100ths of a mile. What's that? A few dozen yards of walking.
Something like that. I'm not much on the measurement thing, so you'll have to. I'm not the smartest, which is why I was kind of surprised that they was like, "Hey, we'll put you and Dylan on the same show."
Which is just asking for trouble.
Yeah, I was curious as we went along, and here's the 20 on the racetrack at this time. The 20. Well, I don't see a 20 on my board.
Rusty Robinson.
Yeah, Rusty Robinson. I'd say I didn't see him, but yeah, on the board. See where Rusty goes. Looks like maybe he caught the wall. It didn't score a time for Rusty.
Rusty currently shown in 22nd with a 19.870. That's second slowest of all of the cars that have participated in qualifying. Just under a minute to go here.
Now, I like this paint scheme for McDonald. As I say that, he spins it. But the roasted gems in the Martin Sports design, I'm a big roasted gem guy. I know the owner of the company. He's a really good dude. And he sells really good American-made coffee for a really cheap price. You know, he doesn't raise his price like a bunch of other people did around the world when it came to coffee. He really good. My wife enjoys it, even though now she can't really drink a whole lot of coffee. But it's Martin Sports too. And you see he's got a bunch of damage, so we'll see what maybe he's going to start in the back. He's slotted 21st, so we'll see how that winds out for him. As qualifying's over.
Qualifying is over. We are about to get set here as the session has turned to the race. Around 7 or 8 cars did not qualify. It's time for the grid.
Then we get to go through this whole thing, too. We'll take a look at the grid. No surprise, Trent Dinkle is your pole sitter with Richard Regan Jr. on the outside. And we got James O'Brien sitting third, Bruno Mello in fourth. Abner Acosta rounds out your top 5 with Matthew Long, Eric Hagg, Robert Besaw Jr., Troy Torgerson. Yeah, I'll go with that one. Jose Acosta rounds out your top 10 with Gip Gandy all the way back there in 11th with Waldo Walden in 12th. We had to catch up here with the graphics. 13th is going to fall to Taylor Stout, Chris Hudson, Tristan Calhoun, Scotty Johnson, Robert Gamble, and Chad Kibbe is your 18th driver on the board. All the way back there in 19th where you'll find Rodrigo Morales, Jose the Funky Cole Medina in 20th, Jay McDonald, Ken Allen, Lou Christian, and Rusty Robinson. Yeah. Tom Amacy. I'll screw that up. I'll call him Amasi if once, but he starts 25th with Joshua Daniels, Pat Harvey, Jeff Chandler, Eric Pepinow, and Charles Sumner in 30th. And rounding out the field, Jeff Winter, Richard Pruitt, and Rafael Rodriguez in the 80 machine. And that's a pretty hot-looking paint scheme.
Talk about some Days of Thunder looking paint scheme right there with Rafael Rodriguez. It's I love whenever drivers go funky with the rim colors, I'm always a fan of it, as the remaining time to get gridded has gone down to 0 seconds. Everybody is ready, and we are rolling. In a second. Yeah. There we go.
Now we're rolling. I can't wait for you to see the paint scheme on for some of the Waterpack drivers on Wednesday night. You
big fan?
I think you're going to be a big fan. If you and Tevin aren't excited for Wednesday, for just the paint schemes alone, there's 3 particular paint schemes in the field that are just going to be, if they get together, you have to just stop and laugh.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it. I hope he's watching. Jeff does a really good job of painting. I gave him some flack on the old Twitter when I was like, man, you know, the Macho Man Randy Savage paint scheme was put out there on Trading Paints, and I was like, you really need to step your paint schemes up. Well, I don't know if he liked that too much. He was like, no, and he ended up he put some fire paint schemes out at us. But what are you looking forward to in this race? What's going to stand out to you that could potentially make this more interesting than it already should be at the Paperclip?
I mean, doesn't it all come down to how these drivers are able to make moves on the outside? Because they can pinch drivers as much as they can, but the preferred line is to be on the inside line, and starting there is going to be Trent and Dinkle. They're coming off 4, Terry.
Yeah, pace car down and in. They enter the Geico restart zone. The green flag waves. We're racing at the Paperclip. There's no hot dogs going to be on this field unless they're spun, but Dinkle gets a good jump. Richard's going to stay right there to the outside. And the outside lane didn't work in the Cup Series race earlier. Not very well, you would say. I wonder what these drivers found in practice and what adjustments they made to their car that can potentially make that outside lane work.
Well, it's you don't set up the car unless you're in. I always say it this way: modifieds that run around Bowman Gray sometimes set up the car to run on the outside, but the only way to run at Bowman Gray really is the inside unless you set that car up for the outside. Yellow flag is out. Looks like a few cars. One car spinning. That's Torgerson, excuse me, Troy Torgerson. Lou Christian not happy. The 37 has spun as well. A lot of cars, a lot of drivers not happy. Eric Papineau. As I was saying there, Terry, before we catch this replay, these drivers set up the cars at Martinsville in very much the same way. They want to set it up for the inside. The outside is always the less preferred line, and you're always going to try and find a way down into the inside line. We'll have to catch exactly what happens here to see if some craziness did occur, because there was quite a bit of mayhem.
It looked like a bunch of scattered ants. Take a look at the replay here in the top box. There's no room for there. And there's no room. And then he just stopped. I'm kind of curious why he stopped and why he didn't keep going. Like, was there that big of an issue on the machine that he couldn't keep rolling? And then he did. So apparently not. But stops down on there, and I'll apologize to anybody out there in the chat. I am Terry. I sound a little under the weather because I am a little under the weather.
I did think you sounded a little under the weather. You know, usually you can't get you to stop talking. You know. After the procedure I had on Thursday, I haven't been feeling too well. So, little bit of congestion in the chest and the head. So I'm here, and I'll take us there. We'll get to that point and try to push it out, but yeah, not feeling too hot. So we'll pull this out. But I'm straight. We'll figure this as we work. Caution number 1, no change, no change in your top 5. It's the same top 5 we had when we started. Trent Dinkel's there, but you see those clouds up there, Dylan, and this is a big issue and a big point of topic with the Fox guys. We're going to see some cloud cover. We're going to see a lot of sunshine. Does that make a big difference for the sim world, for iRacing? The track temp's kind of going to fluctuate a little bit here this afternoon. Do you make a big, massive change if the clouds all just roll in at once? It's going to change. There's not much you can do to the car right now, but it's going to change the way that these cars do handle, right? Especially with the longevity of the tires. They're going almost a full Xfinity Series race here, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Of course, when the cooler temperatures are there, the track temp is not that blistering hot right now. It's only 91 degrees, which only 91 degrees Fahrenheit, but still, it's not horrible. That means that these drivers are going to have more grip the longer we go.
Yeah, our track temp on Wednesday was a lot higher than this. The tire wear was a massive key to Richard winning the race. So we'll see here as we go on board with Trent Dinkel. He's going to take the green flag. He's got the Rocky stuff. I already don't like him because he's got the Colorado Rocky stuff behind him. But Chase Elliott, we're wrecking already across the start-finish line. Driver got turned. We'll see here what happens.
Oh boy, has the feelings of a wreck fest.
I can imagine that when we talk to drivers at the end, I mean, you see Trent right there. He just looks frustrated. Like, he practiced. He doesn't look like his normal self. He's normally pumped up. I made the joke one time when we went on board with him that he looks like he gets up at 5 a.m. for no reason just to go to the gym. Maybe drinks like 5 protein shakes every day and a couple raw eggs, but yeah, pretty in shape guy. He's not your normal sim racer. You know, normally when you see your sim racers, they just don't look as, I would say, as jacked as him. I'm floating his ego a little bit.
I was more paying attention to the deep dish wheel that he's got. I believe that's a Fanatec NASCAR edition wheel. You see the stripes on top?
Yeah, I think he does have the Fanatec. I'm a Logitech guy, not because, Logitech's the official partner of the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series or anything, but, just a quick plug out there to that.
Proud of you. Proud of you.
He just looks mad. Like, what's going through his head right here in the pace laps?
Oh, my goodness. What's going through his head? Well, now he looks bored, so. Pacing at Martinsville, we've only had 3 green flag laps.
What does Dinkle think of when he's pacing at Martinsville?
Okay, Stu.
Is he dreaming of mauling tigers?
It's zebras.
Whatever. we found the replay of what had happened was spun him. Just
on the throttle.
Tires.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. By the way, we have some very astute eyes in the YouTube live stream chat on RaceSpot. The track temp has jumped from 88 to 96 degrees since the start of the race. So when we were just talking about it, it was 90 degrees. The sun's out. Track temp goes up. Tires melt off quicker.
Yeah, it's mostly cloudy. I mean, you see in sim time, it's 3 p.m. on today's day or yesterday's date, April 15th. I mean, it's not necessarily the craziest temp, but it's going to go up. I mean, we expect it. It's not the hottest part of the day. Normally, the hottest part of the day comes around 5, right before the sun does go down. It starts to warm up a little bit, and then it's same goes with the sun. When it's coming up, it's the coldest part of the day. So we'll see if that plays into a factor here and works the tires. Trent Dinkle's an amazing tire saver. So is the guy who is outside, and Richard Regan Jr. They understand what it takes to do it. Shifting here. Xfinity didn't shift, but the Cup cars are shifting. Is that going to play dividends here at the end, maybe getting the back bumper of somebody?
It's definitely going to lead to potential wheel spin if these drivers are not in an easier to manage throttle point on exit. Speaking about on exit, we're going back to green flag racing. It happens very quickly here.
Yeah, Pace car went down easily, and I'm not too sure if Richard didn't change lanes too early there. We're back racing. Dinkle with an early little advantage there on there. And James O'Brien didn't necessarily get the start that he thought he was going to get. It allowed the 56 to slide in there. But I would be curious what the rule is, if he's allowed to transition. The way I read the rule is you can't change lanes before the start-finish line. It looked to me there that he in fact changed lanes before he got to the line.
Well, that's definitely going to be something for race control to take a little look-sees at. Currently watching the battle for the lead between Dinkle and Regan Jr. They, on every restart, well, let's just be honest, there's been one restart, one start, and then the other restart, you didn't even really get going. But each time we've had a few laps to get going in green flag racing. The top 2 have really separated themselves from the rest of the field. So their short run car, it's really set up for success.
Yeah, and I'd be curious, because when you set the open setups up, you have a little bit more flexibility and playability with the cars, that you could do something different. Your camber, your caster, the offset, these cars are a little different with the individual rack and pinion steering that they have. They can change the load on the front. They can let the car roll just a little bit better. I'll be curious to see if Dinkle and Richard Regan Jr. set their car up for the long haul, or they set it up for just this short burst, because they've already pulled a good chunk lead here. I mean, it's 1.5 seconds down to James O'Brien from the race lead and Trent Dinkle. He's got a half a second on Richard Regan Jr., but I'll be very curious to see, are they going to tear the tires up early? Is this a short run haul, and does the cautions play into their favor? And, well, I mean, strategy's got to come into play at some point in time. Maybe 2 tires might work, Dylan.
2 tires definitely might work. It all depends on track position. As we've seen in most races with the next-gen Cup car at Martinsville, track position matters a ton, right? We saw in today's, if anybody was watching the Cup Series race from today, It really only matters to have fresh tires when you're in a one-on-one battle, but if you get mired in the back of the field or in mid-pack and you have fresh tires, it's still going to be really hard to get through without the tires starting to melt off by the time you get into the top 5. We saw Joey Logano struggle to hold off a hard-charging Kyle Larson. Logano was having issues, and Larson had some fresh tires at the end of the race today, and we saw how much quicker Larson was as we are on board right now with Jose Acosta. Acosta currently in position number 15, so pretty much right mid-pack. Only one car is a lap down at this point. That's Waldo Walden in 33rd position. And some separation has happened out front, and we're starting to get some lap traffic for the leaders.
Yeah, no surprise. Lap traffic is starting to play a factor into this race. I mean, 24 laps in, we've only been back under the green flag for what? Maybe 10 laps so far. So lap traffic with a lot of cars on the racetrack. We'll see if Trent can work his way through there. He's got a good, healthy lead over Richard Regan Jr. as he caught to the back bumper of the 24 machine. Piloting that 24 today will be none other than Jose Medina, who's sitting back here. And I believe that would be Richard Pruitt. My bad, misspoke. It's the 924 of Pruitt who's back there as we're going to go on board. I believe that's Chris Hudson, the long-haired guy. It is the 43 machine back in there in the 11th place position. Just riding along, minding his own business. Look at the triple screens. There's so many ways and advantages you could have iRacing. Right. We have VR, we've got triple screens, we've got single screens, we got some people who play on just one big massive screen. I haven't got used to the triple screen yet. Maybe I'll dial up old Chris Hudson and have him teach me how to do it.
Let me take you through the roundabout way of everything that I've used in sim racing. We've gone from just plain old 27, 32-inch monitors at 1440p, 144 hertz. We've been in a OLED 4K section when it came to TVs. We've been in a 49-inch super ultra wide, which is exactly two 27-inch monitors stuck next to each other. I have never done triples, which if you got that big of a 49-inch ultra wide, the biggest single screen on the market nowadays for monitors, well, you're still lacking 27 inches of another screen on the left or right side. That's really the advantage of triples. You're able to see so much more. I mean, in that on-board shot in the real world, we saw his left screen was pretty much the window net. So, kind of crazy how everyone has different preferences when it comes to how they race. All these cars, you know, it's interesting. This Martinsville race, once we got to green flag racing like we're getting right now, very much single file running until we see that move right there. Matthew Long underneath Abner Acosta. And this is where we're going to see that outside line be a detriment. He's probably going to get passed by Eric Haag as well, who has the inside line. You get shuffled to the outside, you are in for it.
Yeah, it's so crazy to think, because the last race I called over here, Dirty South, led virtually every lap. They were phenomenal from start to finish at Atlanta. Now here we are. You got private label
lap car
leading the race. Yeah, they got lap cars in the way. The outside lane. Yeah, caution flag is going to come out.
Scotty Johnson.
But that was 3 positions lost for Abner here. We'll see if what happened to Scotty Johnson in the 07. Went around or caught the wall somehow, some way. Caution number 4.
Honestly, very lucky that very lucky nothing else happens for Abner Acosta, because he was dropping like a rock, not just because he was on the outside, but because of that lapped traffic. Look at that camera we get to see from the grass in turn 1. I love Martinsville. It's a great facility, a great track. And does iRacing model the train?
I believe so. They're very detailed at iRacing.
For anyone that doesn't know, there is a train in a train track right behind Martinsville Speedway that is very functional.
Are you going to be at Talladega this weekend?
Only if you are. Are you?
I don't know.
I mean, the answer is yes. Yes, I will be at Talladega.
When are you leaving Dega? Like, after the Xfinity race?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's kind of the way it works. I'll be in Talladega Friday to Saturday, literally one night.
Thanks. I see. I thought about going. We got a little off time from what I'm going to be doing this weekend, and they wanted to get a group to go over, but I doubt I'll go because it's just a 5-hour drive from here, and it's just
oof.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like a fun idea.
It is Talladega, so it's always fun.
That's what they say. That's what they tell me. But
this is true.
I don't know if it'll necessarily be fun driving 10 hours in one day to go over there and get it done.
I can't say that I blame you.
Yeah, I don't know if 10 hours sound like a good idea, but I would imagine that speaking of 10 hours of how much practice a lot of these drivers put in here. This is the one thing I love about open setups is it takes a lot more discipline to sit down and do this. Not saying that the fixed setup takes discipline, because I'm getting my absolute butt kicked over in the fixed series. I race open sets. I buy them from EPI, and I drive them, and then I make slight adjustments throughout the week to fit my driving style. But the fixed setup, you really have to be on your game. You cannot make any adjustments whatsoever. Other than brake bias, you're stuck. At least with here, I can change tire pressure, something, and try to make the car just a little bit drivable. But I would just imagine that whoever builds the setups for private label Team Hype or Richard Vogue Motorsports or Dirty South, that they've got something tied together to figure it out here. It's private label Team Hype's Trent Dinkel. He's going to go to the Geico restart zone, green flag back in the air. We'll see if we can get a caution-free run for a good bit. That was a really good start there for James O'Brien on the bottom. He's right side by side with the 56.
Side by side with the 56, but it singles out pretty quickly. The 8 of Skip Gandy is currently on the outside, gets the inside positioning, and Abner Acosta, gets a little shove in the back.
That was the hardest part of Wednesday, was not getting punted. It was just staying out of everybody's way. The last restart was crazy, sitting 15th and ended up getting punted at the end. But, here, this was a better jump for Richard Regan Jr. He was able to stay with the 9. He didn't get a bad launch. But the real thing that Trent Dinkel's killing him on a center off, he's pointing the nose perfectly straight off and getting a really good exit, able to hit the throttle about at the 3/4 mark in the corner and going for it. Richard just looks like he's backing down a little bit, potentially saving a little bit of right front tire.
Yeah, definitely trying to just ease it into the corner. The benefit of having a fast car and knowing the track is you don't really have to worry about putting wear on the tires, especially if you're the top 2 runners. Yellow out. Caution has come out. I can't quite tell for who yet.
I think our awesome producer was about to tell us.
Yeah, I'm looking.
They'd be on board with Richard catching the pace car. We'll see who. We'll see around here what brought it out. The 42 is what we're hearing.
This is gonna be the weirdest looking. I think because I can't find any I can't find any wreck, but I have found something that we'll all see together. It was definitely the 42, though, of Jose Acosta. And he is saying that his game froze up, if that gives you any indication. Here's the replay. Watch, this is down the backstretch. And then coming off of turn 4, get ready to laugh, Terry.
That was the caution?
That was the caution. Game froze up. That's what he said.
Why would that bring out a caution? He wasn't in the racing line.
Beats me. He's going down the pit road as well. So that brings out, I believe, our 4th caution of the day.
Yeah,
we are on,
fourth.
yeah, we are on lap 46 now of 225 scheduled. But remember, there is that timer as well. It's really wherever we get to first. It's an hour and a half timer. We're already 22 minutes into it. Terry, I'm about to do some math.
I don't strain yourself. If we need to put the camera on you to get you not to strain too hard, we will. But I wouldn't imagine we'd hit the timer. At least
we might.
We don't.
If these cautions keep going, pretty much we're a quarter of the way through the timer, and we are around, give or take, 10 laps away, and some change from the quarter. Well, no, we're definitely 10 laps away from the quarter mark of the lap. So it's right now the pace we're going. That is the situation that we're in.
Yes, I was expecting a more strung out green flag run in these cars. I wasn't expecting more of like what the truck race was. Truck race, you had a lot of beating and banging, a lot of torn up fenders, which Arjuna and you and O'Leary did a really good job covering that one. It seemed like they had a lot of fun up there talking about it. The Xfinity race went really good. I kind of thought that the Cup cars, with more of the package that's on them, with the low downforce and kind of hard to move the rear end, that we would be fine. But we doubled up. We're green back again. Here we go. We'll see if we can get a good green flag run in this time. We look at the side-by-side battle throughout the field. Not a whole lot to speak of. I mean, everybody's kind of minding their P's and Q's. A lot of drivers tracked on that outside lane, losing tons of position. I mean, they're averaging positions here.
Yellow is out again.
They right big time this time.
Oh, wow. This is the big one at Martinsville.
Well, this took out a good bit of cars, because you mean all the way back from about 9th on back, or 10th on back, took a hit.
I mean, this is like a... Oh, my goodness. This is like a 12-car incident. Once we get it up here, this is going to be quite the show.
Poor Barney. Barney's up there just waving flags all day.
Just waving the flags.
How many hot dogs did you eat this weekend?
I wasn't at Martinsville, actually. This was...
oh, that's right.
Yeah, this is one of, like, 3 off weekends that we have to take. For anyone that doesn't know, I do PR for Colic Racing.
Why did you take this weekend off of all weekends?
Honestly, so I would have had to drive... We didn't get a hotel for the night, so I would have had to drive 2 hours there on Friday, 2 hours back, then 2 hours Saturday, 2 hours back. And I just didn't want to do that. And I figured it was a good point to take my first off weekend of the season.
Could have slept in your car.
Yes, that's exactly what I would have done.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I did it a couple times. Not too sure I'd have slept in my car in the parking lot of Martinsville or something, but that'd been kind of crazy.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Put you a little blanket back here. Here's the replay. Coming off the corner, down the back, they're going to wreck into 3.
This is wild.
Oh, once again, oh.
They just keep coming in, too.
Oh.
That is one of the bigger wrecks I've ever seen at Martinsville.
There's a parking lot party in turns 3 and 4. Maybe they all were stopping for a hot dog. Maybe they all smelled the mustard. I had hot dogs for dinner. My wife smelled hot dogs yesterday and was craving them today. So we watched Martinsville and I grilled hot dogs.
Honestly, that is just the absolute best you can possibly do when watching a race at Martinsville.
That's what I thought. I was like, the thing is, she likes hers burnt. Like, it has to be burnt.
I like a little burnt.
Yeah, I'm a pulled hot dog kind of guy. We take a look here at Richard Regan Jr. in the 56 Dirty South Racing Ford Mustang. We'll see if maybe he can take this race lead. Pace lights are off. This is the craziest race because we're 54 laps in, about to put lap 55 down when they take the green flag. We've got drivers who've already pitted. I mean, I couldn't tell you the strategies up and down this board. There's a ton of them.
All Trent and Richard need to worry about is continuing to do what they're doing.
That's all they need to do is green flag's back out. Everybody's hunting the bottom. James O'Brien gets a look to the inside of the 56 of Regan. He's not going to get the peak. He's not even going to get the look. And that's cleared. And we're 3 wide back in the back in the back part. Now we're at 2 wide again. The world's fastest conveyor belt has become a log jam at a lot of portions of this racetrack. And some unusual characters are in here fighting for this. And there's a ton of change inside the top 10.
Yes, ton of change. Ton of change and still some single file racing. This race has definitely been a weird one, but once again, we're seeing the top 2 just start to get away from the rest of the field. However, James O'Brien has kept it a little closer than it's been for the 3rd place driver in times before on restarts. Lap 57, 58 of 225. We are past that quarter waypoint, by the way, but we are closing in on the 3rd waypoint in time.
Yeah, we're definitely catching time. Time is not on our side.
No.
It has not been a... I'm not going to quote or sing the song. I mean, I've already, sang to, everybody else earlier with Trent, but we're definitely facing the portion that we believe that time is going to be the factor that wins this race. Now, what strategy comes in based off of time for the drivers who potentially think outside the box? You got a car stopped in the grass surface there in turns 1 and 2. We'll see if that brings out a caution. Not sure that it will. Didn't
technically off the racing surface, right?
Technically, we'll see if they actually. I guess they got back on the racing surface because we're back. We're still under the green flag conditions, but yeah, car pulled out. Richard's actually staying with Trent this time. It's 2 tenths now, 3 tenths. The drive off is working. I would say that their tires are torn up by now, Dylan, but they've only really put down maybe 20 laps under the green flag.
Yeah, it hasn't been that much. However, these changing conditions have kind of stopped changing. They've stalled out 97 degrees Fahrenheit, so these tires are handling themselves fairly well, and especially the top 2, they haven't really had to fight with lap cars. They haven't really fought together, It's more been Richard Regan just in the tracks right there.
Take a look right here at the 66. He's hanging around back here, not really not really having to fight too hard. Just kind of riding around. doing his deal. You see the cars coming by on the back stretch cam shot that we've got. I'm gonna. I don't know necessarily where we're gonna see pit stops come in. I mean, the track's cooling down again. We got another cloud on it. Tire saving's been crazy. We're gonna make a pit stop at some point in time, but with the amount of cautions we've got, you can save a ton of fuel.
Yeah, you could definitely save the fuel. I don't think the fuel is the biggest concern. It should be just a one-stop fuel kind of race. They're only going around 112 miles, probably less at the time. Changes it up. And if that's the case, these cars can go around 80 to 85 miles on a single tank of fuel. So do the math there. You just need to make sure you pit by, you know, the halfway point, or pit by, I should say, lap 150 or so to get to the end. And that's if you want to run the first part of the race all the way to the end of the empty tank. And of course, the yellows are definitely helping with fuel saving and fuel strategy, but there's really no strategy when it comes to fuel. I think it's more trying to tell where what the tires feel like. That's going to be the biggest thing.
We normally have our beautiful Nick Hunter giving us fuel information. He's given us maybe 2 good nuggets here so far, so we'll see what Nick throws at us as we take a look right here. It'll be the 78 machine. That 78's Bruno Mello. He's riding in the 4th position, just ahead of Matthew Long and just behind James O'Brien. They've been in this position the whole time, and we haven't seen them go up and challenge Richard or Trent. So you think potentially with a good little, I would say, sprint to the finish. Do you see somebody getting aggressive, maybe not shifting into 3rd, going in the corner?
We could, I'm gonna ride on board, or we could ride on board to hear what the gearbox is doing.
There's a shift.
See those RPMs right there? That matters. There's a shift. Yeah, it looks like it's between 3rd and 4th.
It's weird because he shifted. Look, he goes to 4th. Before he ever touches the brake, he's already back in 3rd.
So that means that you're not really getting high enough in the revs on 4 to get into 3rd.
Correct.
Even though it's got to not be good long term for the engine.
Yeah, but it's kind of crazy. I mean, you're sitting here, it gets to start finish line, watch the 4th, barely cracks the throttle into 3rd, rolls it, and then right at the Martinsville, back to 4th. That's a whole lot of shifting in one lap. I mean, that's, you know, what's that, 4 a lap? You're shifting?
Yeah, that's at least 4 times, 2 up shifts, 2 down shifts. They're not going fast enough, and because it's a fixed setup, they don't have to worry about getting into the 5th gear. They're just kind of dealing with what iRacing has given. So, yeah, 3rd and 4th gear, 2 up shifts, 2 down shifts per lap. Of course, some drivers might like to stay in 4th gear the whole time, but I don't know why you would. I heard a comment on Fox's broadcast today saying it's almost like a road course with just left turns.
That's probably why AJ's really good here. He's getting better at that oval stuff, though. He's got it. That Cup Series team's going to be really good by the end of the year. But track temp went down to 93, so we were up above the 90s for the longest. That big cloud came in. We're back down to 93 degrees. Sun's starting to peek back out in 1 and 2. 3 and 4 still a little shaded. I mean, it's still the Trent Dinkle show. I mean, is this really any surprise to people other than the early string of cautions? We've settled into a longer green flag run, but any surprise that Trent Dinkle's putting on a stink show to him?
Nah, none at all. Dinkle currently 4th in the standings. Don't believe he raced in the first race of the season, but how about a dub here, a dub there? Maybe a dub tonight.
I would think a dub tonight, unless he gets wrecked or something crazy happens. I would put money on the 9. I would think that would be a wise move. But surprised though to see Abner struggle. I mean, we're looking at Abner right now in 8. This was not expected. I mean, I know he didn't necessarily have the best run on Wednesday. He said he had a hard time figuring this track out, had a hard time figuring out getting in the corner. But I didn't expect for him to come into the Cup Series and run outside the top 5. I definitely thought that he would be up there challenging for this win.
I'll tell you who's impressing me a lot tonight. It's James O'Brien, who has been really consistent over the first 3 rounds of this 10-race season. 39, 34, and 36 points in each race. So not a win yet, but he's being really consistent. And if you're racing against for a championship, a guy like Trent Dinkle, then being consistent and running up in the top 5 week in, week out, it's so important.
Definitely is. It's important to put consistent runs together. I think that puts a lot of energy behind you. It puts a lot of hype in your box. I mean, we're starting to lap more drivers. So we're coming around. You're fighting more than the racetrack. You're fighting more than the people behind you. You're fighting the people to your outside and to your inside, trying to get around them. As you see right here, Matthew Long just had an issue catching up to the 19 machine. 19 currently driven by Ken Allen, who's back there in 31st. He is 17 laps down. Actually, yeah, 17 laps. That's a big number for here. But putting a lot of people a lap down. I think we've lapped all the way up to 25th with Chad Kibbe in the 199, your last car on the lead lap. And now it's 24 because Jay McDonald's next.
Lap 87 of 225, soon to be lap 88. And when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, they say. I wanted to see if you were creative. I wanted to hear what you would say to get creative with that. Look at Chad Kibbe right here. Currently in 24th, got that next level racing sim rig with the Jordan logo, the Jordan car in the 199. That's probably one of my all-time favorite paint schemes in recent years for sure.
I'm not mad at Chad Kibbe because of the Nashville shirt he's got on. Big fans of Nashville. Not that because I'm from there. But I'm there.
You're there.
I love Nashville. I was very mad that Pit Road TV, there's the world's smallest staircase with Luke Christian, but I'm mad because the U.S. Legend Cars was at Nashville this week. The great Tim Terry was out there calling the races with Tony Stevens. Very upset I didn't get to go at least be a camera guy, but I stayed home. I had a procedure anyhow. I couldn't make it regardless, but it looked fun. USLegendCars.tv was definitely a good watch for a lot of people. Hopefully people enjoyed that show because he had a lot of potential names that's going to be the future of this sport. It was right there. Hopefully we get some of those names in the PRL one day.
That would be a lot of fun. You know, there's a few series out there, like the Precision Racing League series. Always fun watching these races. It's got such a solid, you know, set of series, and every day of the week there's a new race, whether it's GT cars or Cup, Xfinity, Trucked. We get a good look at Tristan Callahan, currently in 13th. Looks like some VR. Is that the Rift S?
I don't know, but that's a very interesting setup. You got a stand-up microphone.
Right?
Kind of like he's performing in a band. with the wireless headset, with the wheel that looks like it's lighting up. That's pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie.
You're not wrong.
That's a hot setup. Like,
You're into it.
how do I get that? That's really hot. There's Jay McDonald to the outside going down a lap here. He's all the way back in the 20. He would be in the 26th position. We've lapped all the way up to Charles Sumner in 23rd. He's the next car to go one lap down. You're still looking here at the Bruno Mello machine in fourth in the 78. This has been the most close contested battle we've had. I mean, you've got James O'Brien catching Richard Regan Jr. He's 0.2 of a second back. He's actually reeled him in with the private label team hype, trying to go 1-2 and pass the Dirty South guy in the 56. But not shocked that Trent's pulling away like this, but just a little shocked to 3.5 seconds.
It's really impressive, and Richard Regan is going to have to deal with this whole train behind him. This is going to be brutal. I mean, we've heard the Trulli train with Jarno Trulli in Formula One and years ago. It's the Regan Express.
Yeah, he's chasing win number 50. I think it's 58.
Wow.
In the PRL.
And just to show everyone, this is second from 8th, just in that train right here. This is going to get spicy.
It's almost got spicy there because James O'Brien, he put the nose in there on Richard Regan Jr.
And he's going to go underneath.
He's there. Can he make it stick into one?
Oh, a block.
He tried. Richard's not an easy guy to pass. I don't know. He's passed me a couple times, put me a lap down. We go on board with Richard. He's got the trophies up there. And
now that's a Rift S right there.
Yes. That's a good setup. As you see, the battle for third's going to heat up. As here comes Mello on O'Brien. He's not going to be able to make it stick. But just calm, cool, and collective right there. Really good teacher. If anybody's looking for somebody to teach them anything in the sim, Richard's a really good teacher. He doesn't teach you how to get loose off exits in Martinsville, though. I could do that all on my own. But he's fighting it here. Oh, he's fighting it.
Yeah, really starting to struggle a little bit with that one. Move on the outside, maybe. Matthew Long. I don't know if that's going to work out. Gets back to single file. Regan is doing a great job of holding his own, but now it's a 5-second difference between this group and Trent Dinkle. I mean, this is really impressive. I don't know if it's more impressive, the blocking job that Regan is currently putting on everyone back to 8th, or Trent Dinkle having a 5-second advantage, and currently the top 20 is all the cars left on the lead lap. The Jose Medina currently fighting for his life right now to stay on that lead lap. This is exciting. This is getting good. 46 minutes to go in this race. We're almost... Oh, no, there's a car that spun. You saw that. The smoke right into the tire barrier. Still no caution. How could that be? Okay, here we go. Yellow flag. Oh, man. That was exciting.
It's funny because Waldo Walden would be our...
into the wall.
Caution here. And,
oh!
Almost pulled a me there for a second.
That looked dangerous.
Yeah, I backed right into Charles Sumner on accident, trying to get the car, get the car backed up. Man, I got spun out by a good little person. Wasn't a good time, but I would imagine we're pitting here. Let's take a look at what happened to Waldo. Oh. Kind of just gassed it up.
Gassing it up, probably. Probably gassing up from third gear, but look at this.
Yeah,
pit stop.
Yeah, I'd imagine after that hard hit on the barriers there, he would need some Blue Emu for fast action pain relief.
I don't know if I'm proud of you.
I mean, we could get Blue Emu to sponsor the PRL. I think we can make it happen.
So, we'll see this race off pit road. Trent Dinkle is going to have an easy time getting first from this after that 5-second lead. Yeah, he's already out there. We're watching Bruno Mello. It's going to be interesting to see the race for second, and I think James O'Brien, yes, James O'Brien has beaten Richard Regan for second. Off that pit road line. That's big. That is huge. Going to be starting on the outside of Trent Dinkle. I was going to say, by the way, if you're a car that's a lap down, I don't know if it's a smart idea. You're almost going to be banking for another caution, but there were 20 cars on the lead lap. Now there's going to be 21 due to the lucky dog. Do any of the cars that were a lap down that were not the lucky dog take the wave around? We'll have to see.
I mean, I did. In the Xfinity Series, I took the wave around. Unfortunately, I was the caution at the end of it.
Okay.
I took the wave around, got back on the lead lap, and then got turned. Just flat out got turned. Stayed on the lead lap and worked my way up to 16th. I mean, so anything's possible. It's just a battle of survival. I mean, that's really all this is. It's just one of those things. I mean, Charles Sumner stayed out to lead a lap to get that lap point. We saw Bruno Mello on the screen there. It's a good looking guy. It's good to see a lot of these people using the zoom and showing us inside their small staircase or inside their massive man cave that a lot of us children have in the sim. So it's always a good time when you're here.
Always. Always.
I'm going to put a big Blue Emu thing on my green screen for Wednesday just to see if maybe they notice.
You should go for it.
We should. I mean, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Michael Scott.
I'm old. Yeah, I'm old. My joints hurt. You know, I go to a chiropractor twice a week. I could use some Blue Emu for fast action pain relief.
We're going back to green.
This is making my chest feel a little bit better, but yeah, Pace truck or Pace cars back. Geico restart zone. We'll take a ride aboard Robert Beesaw in the SGE Esports Overdrive, and oh wow, that was not a good start there. It's Robert's going around. He saved it. Everybody else is gonna go around.
Wow. Yeah, Robert just went around. He was dumped there.
Yeah, he was flat dumped. Well, good on our producer for knowing exactly who was going to be the caution. That right there is a good producer.
I don't know if it was a dumping as much as it was a squeezing, to be honest.
Well, like I said, our producer, that was the finest job. He reminded me right there of Hugo. Hugo likes to tell us who the caution is going to be before the caution comes out.
I'm sure he said that I was going to be the caution many times in races I raced in. Don't worry, Terry. We say the same thing about you.
That's what I was just about to say. It sounds like me on Wednesdays. I'm always going to be the caution when, unfortunately, I've only been the caution twice. And both times I have been wrecked. I have not been the wrecker. I've been the wrecky.
Fair enough. By the way, I think what I think happened was that Waldo Walden and Robert Beesaw Jr. took the wave around. So I don't know. Yeah, they both definitely did because they're coming into the pits right now. So that's exactly what the wave around is for. I know it's, they haven't been factors up top, but that is literally race strategy right there. You hope for that calamity right off a restart. You get into the pits after taking the wave around. You're on the lead lap. I mean, just perfect there.
I like how when I said I haven't been the wrecker, our inside informant, Nick Hunter, reminded me of when I drove into the back end of him and wrecked him at Kentucky. So no caution came out.
I'll be honest, I didn't even see that we had a chat in our Discord lounge.
Yeah.
I got to catch up on this.
Yeah, he was quick to remind me that I rear-ended him there, and yeah, it was a good time. Good time. I took a lot of flack for that one. I don't get to qualify for the next race, so yeah, we'll start in the back with my good buddy Doug Evans and work our way to the front.
And it's Talladega, so I can't even say the joke that you would be starting in the back anyway.
I mean, I've got a good track record of qualifying up front at plate tracks. I've learned how to qualify at those places. I was talking to you earlier. I've got a really good Gen 4 ARCA practice this week. Harder cars to drive than the Xfinity cars. You can't push. You have to learn how to push with the air. I've done a lot more driving like that. I have intentionally finished second every time just to get full push and full contact. And here's one of the guys that's going to be teaming up with me hopefully Wednesday. Hopefully he watches this broadcast and goes, man, I really want to push Terry to a win. Just subconsciously, that's in his mind the entire time. It would be really cool to push Terry to a win. Rich Regan Jr.
I would love to see that.
See?
Do you know how insanely excited Joey and I would be?
That's what I'm saying. We need excitement. I mean, I'm sure my mom would be excited out there in the chat. My wife won't be too excited because I'll wake her up. It'd just be an all-around party. But the party hasn't stopped here at Martinsville. We're going to put a lap 119 on the board. We'll go on board with SGE Sports Pioneer Pat Harvey potentially. Green flag back in the air. He's going to go into the corner here. He's not going to get turned this time. Hopefully Mike didn't jinx him.
Something we didn't really talk about on that restart because of all the chaos was that second place starting position or restart position for James O'Brien quickly went away. He had a horrible start and was swallowed up, and yellow is out.
Yellow is out again.
Man, we had a great green flag run, didn't we?
For just a second. Yeah, we had a good, and then it went back. So it was back to cautions. We don't
Cautions.
Cautions. A lot of cautions up here. Thanks to all the people that are watching. This is not too sure how many people are watching here this afternoon. I think 44. My mom's out there in the chat. Hi, Phyllis. So probably didn't know that I don't feel good. Probably wondering who this
is that Phyllis?
Yeah, she probably wants to know. Yeah, she probably didn't know that I'm actually calling the race. That I sound totally different. We'll take a look at what happened replay-wise. Was this the car that was slow? Potentially stopped? Yeah, just pulled off and stopped. No, they didn't stop. What happened?
There have been some weird cautions in this race.
That brought out the caution.
No way. Not yet. I don't think so.
Yes, that was our caution. That was, yeah. Morales blinked and ended up across Charles Sumner's bumper. What I was reading.
Interesting.
This has been a very weird caution-based race.
And there's 36 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Where we are.
We're gonna have time. Yeah, we're gonna have time.
Well, unless we get a green flag run.
No. I think
we have given up.
Optimistic.
Our production has given up on the lap counter.
I think
it's now the timer.
I think you're more optimistic than what the producer or what I am. I mean, hold up. I'll try not to die.
Did you just sneeze?
No, I coughed. I was trying to mute my mic before I did it and stop talking. But
goodness me,
I couldn't reach it in time when I started to choke. But I'm not too sure that we're going to get another green flag run in. We got fresh tires. You got to get all that you can get. I mean, we might be filling 35 minutes at the end of this. I mean, we have the green flag laps up, but in 34 minutes, I'm not too sure we can even do 100 laps in 30 minutes. I'm not a mathematician. It's never been my strong suit. I actually didn't even take math in high school. So.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Well, I had 9th grade. I took like dumb people math, I guess. And then my 10th grade year, I was in alternative school, so we didn't do math. We just did blanket work. And then the only math that I technically did, I don't even remember 11th grade. And then 12th grade, I was homeschooled.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm not even sure if I'm an actual high school graduate or not. I don't know. But I tell you what I do know is the green flag's about to come back in the air. Dinkle's really hoping that he gets a good jump in which he did. We'll see if the dirty South teammates right here, Matthew Long and Richard Regan Jr. will play nice. Matt's to the outside, Richard's to the inside. We'll get a drag race down the back straightaway. We'll see who needs Blue Emu coming out of 4 or not.
Oh my goodness. You're really vying for that sponsorship, aren't you?
I mean, it's free Blue Emu. What?
You know who is hoping that a yellow comes out very quickly? It's going to be Waldo Walden, who went back onto the lead lap. Now he's the only car lap down.
Yeah.
Meaning he'd get the lucky dog. And let's see how many drivers are still in this race. Jeff Winter is the last car in the leaderboard, currently running 42 laps down in 31st. Rusty Robinson in the pits, 35 laps down. And then pretty much 31 to 33 cars still in this race.
Well, our trusty chat said that we could, but it has to stay green the rest of the way. I mean, the likelihood of it staying...
I think 20-second lap times.
Yeah.
I think you get 3 laps every single minute, give or take. Let's just say there's 30 minutes left to round it and make time.
There is 30 minutes left.
There's 32 minutes left.
Yeah, but that's 30 minutes. I mean, you have 2 minutes.
Okay. And then you get 6 more laps.
But
so let's just say if we go green the rest of the way, we're going to get around 90 or so laps. We've got 95 laps to go.
Okay.
Oh, look at this! Look at the lead!
Hey,
side
Richard.
by side! Regan is going for the lead. Dinkle got way too hard on the brakes. And for the first time all race, Richard Regan in the lead. Dinkle's going to come right back down.
You know what's even funnier is Nick Hunter actually said...
Oh, no!
Oh, he spied him. He dumped him.
Wow! Chaos! I can't say this was dumped. I don't know if this was a dumping. There was basically no space between the curbing and the left side tires for Trent Dinkle.
Wow. Wow. Well.
Yeah, the full race isn't happening now.
Well, my joke was, you know, we have a better chance of getting Blue Emu to actually sponsor the PRL than going green to the end at Martinsville. What in the heck just happened?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, my man. We'll get the replay here.
Take a look at the replay. I mean, he passes him clean.
You're going to see him. Regan gets way too high. Dinkle goes for a spot that maybe being a bit too aggressive there, but the room was just barely there. Ah, man, that almost feels like more of a racing incident.
It does. That's exactly what happened to me Wednesday, is I left a little bit of room for Jeremy Bailey, and he took it. And a lot of people, I was complaining about it. You know, because the racer on the inside goes, well, hell no, he wasn't there. Like, that you don't take that run. That's dumb. Why would you take that run? And then, well, you look at it, like you look at it from the replay, and you go, I left this much room. And they can take that. Everybody takes that extra little inch.
Exactly. And it's Martinsville.
It's Martinsville, and Trent's definitely one of those drivers that takes that extra inch. He's going to take it. And the same thing with Richard. I'm sure, you know, Richard and Trent, they're not going to argue about this. And If Richard sees an inch, he's going to take a mile. If Trent sees an inch, he's taking a mile. And that's a whole lot about Martinsville racing. That's a lot about what these PRL drivers do. I mean, I'm sure Trent come over the radio. I don't know, I'm not in there, and said, "Hey, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to get into you." The same thing happened at Richmond with me and Richard. I was mad. I thought he wrecked me. Replay showed I kind of wrecked myself.
I mean, if you're Regan, you got to look at that and say, what did I do wrong? Well, I left a little bit open, and I came down a little bit.
Hell no. If you're Richard right here at this moment, you don't have anybody talking to you. You haven't looked at the replay. Like, you're not.
That's fair.
You haven't looked at a replay yet. Like, at all have you looked at the replay. And all you're thinking is the same thing I was thinking when me and Richard got into it at Richmond. He wrecked me.
He wrecked me.
And the moment he gets back to me, I'm going to wreck him. Or the moment I get back to him, I'm wrecking him. I just hope Richard, with the smartest guy that he is, that he just backs it down and goes, "It's okay. Like, I just spun. Who cares? I'm cooling the tires down, doing whatever." I mean, did Dinkel go for a hole, in my view, as a racer, go for a hole that wasn't necessarily there? Yeah, that hole wasn't there. But it was explained to me from a lot of smart people at Whataback that you leave an inch. And I mean, I left the same amount of room Richard did. I went in the corner the same way he did. And they took it. And they're going to take it. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the chat that would agree with me. If you leave it,
I can't blame them.
In there. And they're going to put and Trent has not let a lap ball race long until then. I'm sending it too.
Richard Regan. Trying to find him. He actually, this is where iRacing can be a little bit better than the real world thing. If you got spun, if you're part of the wreck, you're going to the back.
Yeah, he wasn't. He stopped in fourth.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, we're not making time. Or laps. There's a big wreck between cars 2 laps down.
Oh, well, and I know this is going to be crazy.
And Walden.
Yeah, but look who's going to start behind Trent Dinkel. And I got to I got to agree with the chat for a second. John Jones said, if you don't take that, you ain't racing. I 100% agree with that. And it took a second for me to realize that and to take a step back and go, well, maybe when Bailey took that run on me, he wasn't trying to wreck me. It wasn't no part of Bailey trying to wreck me. We haven't talked. He's probably the last person I'm going to push at Talladega. If he races, he'll probably be the last person I give an inch to on the racetrack on Wednesdays. But, will I race him harder? Yeah. Is Richard going to race Trent harder? Absolutely. Is he going to go in there and make a bonsai move? Probably not.
Play here, by the way.
But, yeah, look at this. Oh, the 23 just lost it.
And Walden. Yeah. Well, sometimes you make your own luck, and if you're trying to fight at the back of the lead pack the whole night, unfortunately, you get into more incidents than otherwise. But continue what you were saying, Terry.
Well, I mean, I don't think Richard's gonna. I don't think Richard's gonna go up there and wreck him. But I think Trent's gonna be a little bit more. Be a little bit more harsh. Yeah, I feel like they're both gonna be a little bit more harsh there, and I'd be interested to see too what PRL does. Does Trent have to start at the back next week at Talladega? Like
that would be harsh.
Yeah, I mean, is that going to be looked at as a racing move, or is he going to get the caution point? Like, is he going to get the penalty point to put him in the back? I mean, Dega, it doesn't really matter where you start. I mean, you can be first in 2 laps, but would that be? Would that cost him to go to the back next week?
Not much.
I mean, it ain't gonna hurt him. I mean, it's not like it's a penalty. I mean, if you're gonna cause a caution, this would be the place to do it with Talladega looming over your shoulder.
You are not wrong. You want to get a little bit more intense here? Then that's the play. This is the place to do it. What are you laughing at?
How intense is you said intense? How intense does the 56 get on the back bumper?
I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
Like what kind of Richard Regan Jr. do we see here? Do we see the Richard that takes no prisoners, that doesn't care if you're a lap down car, if he's racing you for 10th, he's racing you for the win? Are we going to get the guy who's like, I don't want to wreck him, but I don't want him to win? Like, I know he ain't going to go in and just clean him out, but how aggressive does he get into one?
We're about to find out.
Can we go on board with the 50s? We'll see with the Dirt Devil. What goes on here with Joshua Daniels on the outside lane. Green flag should come back in.
Oh, Regan got a good job.
He's there. Yeah, he did.
Oh, he's sticking it in. He's pushing him.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah,
he's
Trent,
bad.
Trent, sorry about this, but oof.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, big contact. They're wrecking each other.
Yeah,
Trent
they
into
are.
the wall.
Now, I wondered what Richard we was going to get. Well, we saw what Richard we're going to get. He went up there, caution flags out, and Trent is pissed. I'm sure he's going to drive up there and well, no, he thought twice. Somebody must be in his ear telling him to calm down. Because if you're Trent right there.
Wait, listen. I'm going to listen. He's mad on the radio right now.
I bet.
One shot, okay, but then you go again. Trent's coming up again. Oh man, that was listen,
yeah.
I think that it was a racing incident the first time around, and then the second time around it was absolutely Richard throwing the first punch, in my opinion. And who's starting behind Richard next time?
Oh yeah. I mean, don't get too carried away, right? The 80 car has been disqualified. So the 80 of Rafael Rodriguez has been DQ'd from the server. We'll take a look here. They was beating and banging. Trent gets in the wall, made hard contact to the right side. Yeah, this is. I would hope that the PRL admins get in on this and stop it, because I mean there's a line that you don't necessarily want to jump, and I think we're at that line. And this isn't me speaking as the broadcaster. I'm affiliated with RaceSpot. This is me speaking as the racer on Wednesdays. You touch, you make contact, you have an issue, you have beef, whatever everybody wants to call it. But don't cross the line. And I think we're.
Then again, it is Martinsville.
Yeah, I don't think it matters where we're at. I mean, we could be anywhere, but if you go to that extreme, I mean, moving them out of the groove is fine, right? We just saw Richard move the 9 up out of the way. Cool. But then they get off exit and they start trying to wreck each other. Like that to me is when we start going extreme. And then we got the 9 right behind the 56 again. So going into 1, it's going to be the show of what we see. And yeah, we build it up here so people tune in and watch and stay watching, but don't make a mockery of it. Don't make a mockery of the show. But does the 9 wreck him?
Don't make a mockery of it. Silence.
But does the 9 wreck him?
Do you see vengeance in Trent's eyes?
I mean, Trent always looks like a beefcake. I mean, look, he just looks like a big old jacked up teddy bear. I mean, he does. I'm sure if me and him went to a race or went to a ball game together or something and sit there and drank a water, I mean, neither one of us drink, I don't think, but I'm sure he's got a lot of IQ when it comes to racing. But I'm almost positive that if we were just sitting here talking, drinking an ice cold glass of tea or something, he's got so much knowledge but he's probably just a massive teddy bear to just teach you anything you want to know.
Yeah, just get ready to see a wreck right here. Just be ready between the 9 and the 56. We're going back to green flag racing, Terry, and we're on board with Trent Dinkle. Horrible start.
Oh, he's so lucky. Richard took off. Hey, Richard's gone.
Trent was caught napping.
Yeah, he was taking a nap there. I mean,
now if you're Matthew Long, you don't want to get involved in this whole thing. By the way, can we give a shout out to Joshua Daniels? Did not qualify, did not practice, started the race in 26th, running in 6th.
Yeah, that's a heck of a
Dinkle
run.
just locked up the tires.
Yeah, I think Dinkle's finally understanding what being in traffic will do. It is not fun to be in traffic here, and we saw it in the Cup race. We're seeing it so far here. Passing at a point gets aggressive, and you have to be aggressive. And caution flags out. I've lost count of what caution flag this is.
Big mess on the backstretch.
Jose Medina has been DQ'd as well. There's a lot of incident points we've hit so far here tonight.
And a lot of angry drivers.
I want the fans to weigh in on this, because I want to hear what all 57 of them think. If somebody punts you, do you necessarily have to punt them back right then and there, or can you wait a couple weeks?
Ask Denny Hamlin.
Well, Denny waited a whole year. But I mean, seriously, is it something that you got to do right then and there? I mean, I would think you would pick a different time. Like, you wouldn't make it obvious that was it.
I think it doesn't matter.
So you're one of the people that would go up there and give it to him right back?
I'll tell you what, this might make me look soft, but someone messes with me, I'm just going to race them hard, but I'm not going to mess with them. I'm racing my own race.
Well, I got a couple people out there in the chat that Ian B said wait for the right time. Suri Havoc says depends on the situation. Corey Sylvia says surprise him in a random week. If it's expected in the moment, you might get in more trouble. John Jones, got to wait until you can get them back when it's less likely it'll hurt your car or be detrimental to you in the next race. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. You got to look at the incident cap here. We got a lot of incident points that's starting to accrue here. Jose DQ'd, 26 incident points. Tristan Callahan's at 20. Robert Gamble's at 18. We had a lot of drivers that's starting to get in this in this window that could get DQ'd here. I mean, we got Rusty Robbins, right? He's got Meatball. Richard Regan Jr.'s at 8. That's a store we could follow along up here. Of how many people are? We could DQ a lot of people, Dylan.
We could. Oh man, this is fantastic.
Pace Truck's got the lights out, and do you catch the 9 sleeping again?
No, I think he's ready. Not at all.
I kind of got to agree with Matt out there, Matt Schaefer. Once Richard and Trent watch the replay, they're both going to apologize. I think it'll be an apology. But here we go. Pace sedan's out. Barney's got that green flag, getting ready to wave. Trent's all up that trumpet of the back door of that Mustang. We'll see if he gets the restart. No, not this time either. Richard caught him again.
Surprised. Very surprised there.
see here. I mean, you got two teammates, Richard and Matt Long, sitting there 1-2 at 30 South. Doing a good job. You talked about Joshua Daniels up here in 6th. Overcooked that one. He's going to let Abner Acosta below. He's going to go to the 6th place position, put Daniels back there 7th in the 77. But what a run. You talked about giving a shout out to him. That's a heck of a run for the 77 machine. Doesn't look like a scratch on that thing. Hopefully I don't jinx him, but with 14 and a half minutes to go, just doing a great job.
Yeah, Robert, we're getting a yellow flag right here. Robert Gamble is angry.
Oh boy. Don't think I've
Totally got dumped. Now, if you want to see someone dumping someone else, Skip Gandy's going to have to answer for what just happened.
Oh, lovely. More angry drivers at Martinsville. When have we heard that?
John Jones with a really good point that Dinkle might be down some horsepower, which could affect his restarts.
That's true. What think about the horsepower idea? We're going to see here what brought this caution out here in just a moment. I'm going to watch Skip Gandy dump somebody. What about Waldo Walton? Drove up to 13th. He spun a couple times. He's up to 13th.
He's been involved in a lot of things.
Yeah. I feel like we've said his name quite a bit. Not positive either.
But hey, good for him.
Yeah. What about a top 10 finish potentially? It would that would be a little wild. I saw a top 10 out of that. It's going to be a lot of hurt feelings when they go to Talladega next week. Going to be a lot of people not wanting to push other people.
We'll get a replay here of this. This is a bit of a joke.
Oh man! Wow.
Is that something else?
Wow. For the people that are watching lap-wise, we are not going to hit the laps here, so we put the time up. We will hit time here. We got 12 minutes to go. We're on lap 165 out of 222 is what the current time says that we could hit if we went green to the end.
I just hope we don't end under yellow.
Yeah, I don't want to either. It not necessarily what I want, but gonna be a lot of chocolate milk and animal crackers passed out at the end of this race. What's your go-to after a bad race weekend, Dylan?
Food-wise?
Yeah.
Knuckle sandwich.
Hey.
That's what Skip Gandy's gonna get here.
Oh, he missed it. Oh my gosh. That was no awareness at all. You go for a knuckle sandwich? You don't go for like peanut butter and jelly or nothing?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just go for the knuckle sandwich.
They get on my nerves. I'll talk to you after the end of this race.
Okay. How about the third time that Trent Dinkle's going to have a chance to get back on Regan, but maybe the yellows have let things just kind of simmer down. Better start. He needs to get underneath Matthew Long.
He's there. Yeah, he's there. He has the nose.
But does he have the horsepower?
Yeah, I don't know if they settle down, though. I think if the 9 gets back to that 56, man, we're going to see something else.
AKA what we all want to see.
Well, I mean, we're not advocating it or anything.
I'm advocating for entertainment.
This is why I love you.
Love you too, Terry. This is just beautiful.
We got
side-by-side racing, though. Yeah, side-by-side racing with 10 minutes to go. I think Dinkle gets him, though, on this set of turn 1 and turn 2. Look at James O'Brien still there. Yep. Slotting right down the inside. Dinkle gets loose. Now he's on the outside.
What a crossover right there for Matthew Long. He gets below Trent here. It's private label Team Pipe versus Dirty South. They're going to go side by side. James O'Brien has just hung around. He's been
fantastic.
Yeah, he has been there, and he has
crossover
been on point. But yeah, Trent Dinkle, they just crossover after crossover. Kind of reminds me of IndyCar.
Slide job.
Yeah, little IndyCar action going on.
Oh, look at this.
He put the bumper to him.
I don't know if he put the bumper. I think Long just got a little bit too deep into the corner. He's going to try and go deep in here and come down a little bit more. We've got a DQ. Skip Gandy has been disqualified, by the way.
See people hitting the incident counters here this afternoon. 8 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Richard Regan Jr. to a tune of 1.7, well, make it 1.6 seconds. Separates him from Matthew Long and Trent Dinkle, who fight for second place. If you've missed part of this race, Trent Dinkle has dominated it from start until about 10-15 laps ago. Incident happened between him and Richard Regan Jr. That put the 9 in the wall and put them there. So this is now the battle for second, and this is the first time we've seen Trent a little further on back, but he's going to get the position there for the time being. We'll see what he can do in 3 and 4.
You know what's really interesting, as Dinkle gets the move done, and I think he's got it for good this time, is that there's 8 minutes to go, which doesn't feel like a lot, but that's still like 24 laps.
It is a lot of racing. That's a lot of people don't say there, but Skip and Kibby wreck on lap 171 gave Skip Gandy the DQ. So that wreck gave him the disqualification, removed him from the race. That moved everybody up a position, like Charles Sumner, moved him up to the 14th position. Jose Acosta, Scotty Johnson, Jay McDonald, who was 17th, got back up to the 16th position. Abner Acosta made a move to the top 5 for the first time this afternoon, which is weird to say that Abner Acosta, for the first time, is in the top 5 with 7 minutes to go.
That's wild. Just wild. Yeah, I think Regan's going to run away with this one. Unless lap cars become a factor, which it could be.
I mean, we obviously addressed the elephant in the room when we talked to Trent or Richard. It'll be very entertaining. I'm sure a lot of people want to hear, but you see the battle about to happen here, setting up for the 4th place position between Bruno Mello and Abner Acosta, the 78 and the 5 machine. Very uncharacteristic race for the 5. A great race for Matt Long, Bruno, Joshua, James. Pat Harvey's having a good run. Eric Papinel's doing a good job up there in 10th. There's a lot of great stories here. In the midst of the chaos, there's a lot of good stories up and down the top 10.
In the midst of it all.
Got a car slow. Who would...
Going into the pits.
Yeah. Rusty, potentially, back on pit road.
Do you hear that whine that has become synonymous with these next-gen cars? It really reminds me of GT cars.
It's true. And it's a good whine. To an extent.
A good wine.
Going on board here with Matthew Long. Got a car almost in the wall trying to hail Mellon.
Could you imagine if the Hail Melon was able to be done in iRacing?
No, I couldn't. I would.
Because I could tell you who would try that.
I think Trent would try it in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
We're coming to 4 minutes to go. It takes how long under caution?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We're coming to the point where the next caution ends the race.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting there. There's a lot of close battles, but not a whole lot of close battles around here. I mean, there's a lot of slower cars that are there. I mean, we got a battle. We got the lead shot down here. We got the second shot going on here. Not a whole lot going on around this racetrack.
By the way, Robert Gamble was DQ'd around 15 laps ago, so a lot of disqualifications.
Going the battle for second here. Coming down the back straightaway, Trent Dingle, Matthew Long still trying to fight it out. 0.2 of a second separates them here. I think unless we got another caution, I think you're right. Richard got it.
Richard would have to be the reason for the caution.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Matthew Long could potentially get up there and.
That's fair. That's fair. There's around 12 laps to go under green flag racing, if that is what we get. Or I should say, actually, more like 9 laps to go. Richard Regan Jr. going underneath the number 30 of Jeff Winter. Winter 50 laps down now.
I think this was the most DQs that we've handed out in a cup race in a long time. DQ'd, I think, what, 5 or 6 drivers in this race alone. There's 2 minutes to go. The next flag's going to end it. I mean, this is we're in the territory now where the caution flag does come out. The race is going to be over unless we get a 1-lap shootout type deal that has been synonymous with the time races.
This has been a lot of fun to watch. 13 cautions, 66 laps worth of cautions, by the way.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Still looking at the battle for P2. Matthew Long, Trent Dinkle fight it out. Trent still got good exit speed, but Matt's got good entry. That corner exit, though, he's getting it tore up. I mean, we got a minute to go. This race is, I mean, race wins over. We know who won the race, unless he's the caution. Who finished second? Nice race, yeah. Caution's out.
And we've got more drama, though.
Yes, we do. Somebody else get a DQ? Yeah, but that's race over. That would settle it.
They are all mad at each other.
Yep. Yep.
Jeff Chandler wrecked the 23. The 23 said, "What happened?" of Rodrigo Morales, and well, Morales really slowed down around 200 feet earlier than expected for the corner. By the way, that was really weird. 3 seconds left, Terry.
Yeah, race is over. Final lap. We'll come around here and 31 come over the radio and said you
Oh! You want to? Did we miss something? I can tell you, we definitely missed something right under caution. Trent Dinkle under caution. Twice hit Regan.
Oh yeah, he punted him twice.
Oh, he punted him twice under caution.
Yeah.
Regan wins it.
Yeah, Richard Regan Jr. gets the win. I believe that is the 35 locks it up there. I believe this is win number 58 for Richard Regan Jr. Or 57. 57 or 58 for Richard in the PRL. But yeah, Trent Dinkle came up and gave him a really big punt, just to say, hey, I didn't appreciate that. Yeah, that's over. 56
It's over.
Done. That's the most anticlimactic finish we could have.
So anticlimactic for what it could have been. But that was a fun race. Richard Regan, the 56 car, wins it.
14 caution flags for 69 laps. As we take a look at the unofficial race results, there's probably a lot of penalties that's going to be handed out here. Richard Regan Jr. gets the win. Trent Dinkle.
Those
Matthew
laps are
Long,
not correct, by the way.
Yeah. Bruno Mello, Abner Acosta. We lost the timing. Laps were off, I believe. There we go. We're back up. James O'Brien, Eric Hagg, Joshua Daniel, Pat Harvey, Eric Papanow, Jose Acosta, Chris Hudson, Waldo Walden, Charles Sumner, Scotty Johnson, Lou Christian, Tristan Callahan, Chad Kibbe, Jay McDonald, Tom Amacy. Rounds out your top 20. Jeff Chandler, Robert Besaw Jr., Rodrigo Morales, Ken Allens, Robert Gamble, Skip Gandy, Taylor Stout, Jose Medina, Jeff Winter, and Rafael Rodriguez rounds out 30th. And your final three in the more used car lot than the other used car lot: Rusty Robinson, Troy Torgerson, and Richard Pruitt is your 33 car field, with the fastest time by Richard Regan Jr. on lap 161. I don't think we'll take any time here waiting on our winner. I want you to take Trent Dinkle. Let's get him up here.
Trent Dinkle. We got to ask. Second place. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I had that race in the bag. I mean, I got my nose under Richard after I locked up a little bit. I mean, I'm looking at the replay now. I mean, my nose is at his left rear tire, and he just turns down on top of me. Then he gets all sad and punts me out of the way and knocks my toe out when I hit the wall. So, yeah, it's pretty annoying to... I mean, I gapped the hell out of everybody. I had like a 5-second lead over him, you know, and Matt and all those guys. And then you get stuck in the pack with damage, and it's kind of... I kept blocking up the left front after I hit the wall. So, yeah, it's a little annoying. I mean, I still finished second. Still, once we have the drop week factored in, I still probably have the points lead by a bit. So, you know, Martinsville, I guess, as Denny Hamlin would say, short track racing.
Now, would you say it the same way that Denny Hamlin said it for us, please?
I don't think I could do that. I'm not that good at imitating.
Well, nonetheless, you still got a second place finish out of it. That battle at the end of the race was pretty intense. Take us through it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I didn't look, to be honest. I guess I should have pit and actually seen how much damage I had, but I mean, when I would hit my same brake points at the same spots, I kept locking up the left front, so I had to back it up a little bit, and then I was holding up Matt, and then, you know, I mean, I was kind of hanging on to Richard, but I think with me and Matt fighting, he just got away, and then obviously there was no getting it back. But yeah, I mean, I hate short tracks in iRacing so much. It's just a waste of time, because I mean, I led the whole damn race, like half the race, and then you get put in the back, and it's just caution after caution after caution, because people don't know how to drive and race, and it just gets old, and the restarts are a pain because I was probably in a pretty good spot starting third most of those restarts because I was nervous after I had passed Matt that getting hung on the outside on the restart, that was going to be probably worse than just starting in third. So, and then the ability for them to nail the restart, on the same time and all that stuff just makes it a little bit more difficult, which, is what everybody does. I think that's a team. So, I'm glad that this is done so I can go pull some more hair out while we do a play track race next week.
Oh, it'll be a lot of fun to watch that. Oh, yeah. But Trent, congrats on the second. I know it wasn't what you wanted, but still a great race nonetheless.
Awesome. Thank you.
Terry?
We're going to grab our race winner, Richard Regan Jr. And we'll,
same questions.
Yeah, pretty much. Richard, congrats on the win. And, well, the elephant in the room, the beef between you and the 9 of Trent Dinkle.
Yeah, regardless if it was my fault or his fault, I caught him multiple breaks tonight, and the one time I'm ahead of him, as soon as he gets to me, he don't cut me a break. So if he's gonna race me like that, I'm not gonna cut him any breaks next time I get to him either.
Well, that's pretty cut and dry, but you get the race win. Obviously, you were second most of the race. The incident happened. You kind of caught a lucky break sliding to fourth, and only 2/4 to get back up there and take the race win. But you go to a plate track next week in Talladega. What's your feelings there? You don't get to control your own destiny.
As long as it stays green, you can still control your own destiny. We went to Daytona and we absolutely dominated the race. We won by like 15 seconds at Daytona, me, Matt, and Taylor. So we're going to be bringing out all the big guns next week. We got a really, really fast plate package. So as long as we get things to go our way just a little bit, I'm expecting another Daytona, honestly.
Me and Dylan were hoping to ask a favor. You potentially push Terry to the win on Wednesday. And not Terry the broadcaster, but Terry the racer.
We'll see. If he's in a spot and I have nowhere to go, then sure. We'll see.
See, Dylan.
You may try.
That racer guy, that racer Terry, he knows a thing or two. But Richard, congrats on the win. Well, I think it's me and Dylan again next week. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep, thanks. Before I go, I got to give a shout out to everybody at Dirty South. Matt, Taylor, Bobby, Chris, Jim, and John. Awesome job a week in and week out building the cars and working with everyone to get it tuned in for the driving style. Thanks to Reese Bogue on the spotter stand tonight, made some good calls in the pits. First run we were lacking a little bit of rear grip, and then once we pit, we were able to fix that up, and the car was really fast after that. Got to thank Multiple Sclerosis Society, Neonism Paints. You need a paint, go to facebook.com/neonism. Tell them the PRL sent you. Mission 22, Stroke Awareness, everybody at the PRL, and you guys at RaceSpot.
Appreciate that, Richard. And at your race winner, Richard Regan Jr., and talk to P3 with Matt Long and your teammate. Dylan, you got Matt here.
I was waiting for the name to be dropped, but Matt.
What's up, boys?
What's going on? That was you had a front row seat at the end there, didn't you?
Yeah, man. I was just watching it all unfold, and just hoping maybe those two would get into it and I'd steal a win. But no, I'm super happy for Rich to finally get back in victory lane, and I'm happy with the top 3 there. We felt like we were just missing a little something all day and didn't get a ton of time to practice this week, so that probably had something to do with it. And just happy they came home top 3.
So that battle in the last 20 or so laps of the race, it was really starting to heat up there. Do you feel like there was some lack of horsepower maybe that Trent was dealing with that maybe you could have jumped on? Because that's what we were theorizing with the starts, because at least for the restarts, Trent was almost spinning the tires or just not getting up to speed.
Well, yeah, once Rich and I got first and second, he was obviously counting me down, so that definitely helped, us pull out and get 1-2 for most of those restarts until that last one, and my old man reactions let me down, and I let Trent get to my inside, and I figured at that point, best I can do is just battle for second place there, and let Rich get out to a long, big lead, and then Trent and I were just racing hard there. So I think he had a little bit better car, and just happy it came home in third.
Well, congrats on the podium finish, Matt, and just remember what next week is.
Oh, yeah, we'll be ready. If y'all remember, us Dirty South boys put a whooping on them at Daytona, so we want to do that same thing at Talladega here. We'll be ready.
All right. Thank you very much, Matt. Terry, that was a lot of fun. Terry.
Oh, I'm muted. I'm dumb. We got one more driver down here. We got a little time in the window. But Eric Papanow, how are you?
Doing good, and you guys?
Yeah, we're doing all right. Just a little under the weather, but we're getting there. Top 10 tonight. You had a good SG Esports Slipstream machine. What you need to get up here and race with them?
Just needed a little bit more drive off on exit, but it was a good finish overall.
Talladega next week. You gonna win the race?
I feel like I got a good shot at it. Plate racing's another one is more in my wheelhouse, so we'll see how that goes. But of course, it all boils down to luck in the end.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate you. Congrats on the top 10 tonight.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Eric Papanow, P10 here this afternoon. Well, Joey's got to bring his number generator out. I don't have mine. But next week, Talladega, Dylan. Who do you got winning it?
Man. Wow. I don't know. It's the number generator. I think the Dirty South boys, like you just heard, they're going to work together, as some of these teams will, but I wonder if we're going to see any payback happening from all the calamity we've seen this week.
I would hope that we pull a good bit of luck out next week. But I tell you what, you get to call Wednesday, and hope we're rooting for me. Hashtag Terry
True.
for the win. Let's
Very
put
true.
3 in victory lane at Talladega. But final
back
thoughts
to
for this
2000s.
race. That's right. Throw it back to 2000. I might come from 16th to first to win it. Throw it back to tonight. This was a crazy race, and we had a bunch of crazy wrecking.
You're definitely going to come back from last place to any other place, so that's why. Hey, you're not qualifying. I don't know what to. Yeah. But Martinsville, what a track, what a race. The only thing I didn't like about the race was that we didn't get the finish we were hoping for, right? Some kind of calamity, some chaos, some meeting together of the top 2 drivers in that race, and that didn't happen. But nonetheless, it was entertaining, really entertaining.
It was very entertaining to be calling a race with you. Even sick and all, we had a good time.
We do. We have a good time, Terry.
It's always a good time when you put 2 crazy rednecks up in a booth together. But thanks for everybody watching tonight. Catch us every night for the PRL. You can catch us tomorrow night. Wednesday night, obviously, you'll catch me racing. Thursday night, I think you hear me in the booth again for F3. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you next Sunday at 8:30, same time, same place, Talladega.